Fray Sibyla appears content, his disdainful expression gone. He condescends to speak with Dr. de Espadanya, who responds in monosyllables due to his stutter. The Franciscan, Fray Damaso, is in a foul mood, while the lieutenant maintains a grave demeanor. The others praise the table's magnificence. Doña Victorina becomes furious when the lieutenant steps on her gown's train. "Haven't you any eyes?" she demands. The lieutenant retorts, "Yes, señora, 2 better than yours, but the fact is that I was admiring your frizzes," as he moves away. The 2 friars vie for the head of the table, engaging in false modesty. "For you, Fray Damaso. For you, Fray Sibyla." An older friend of the family, confessor of the deceased lady, age, dignity, and authority. "Not so very old either. On the other hand, you are the curate of the district," replies Fray Damaso sourly. According to Philippine clerical opinion, even the highest secular official is inferior to a friar cook. Fray Sibyla, being well-bred, offers the seat to the lieutenant, who declines to avoid sitting between friars. Capitan Tiago ensures Ibarra is served tinola, saying, "I ordered tinola as you doubtless have not tasted any for so long a time." The Dominican serves the soup unfairly, giving Fray Damaso a poor portion while others receive choice cuts. Fray Damaso, displeased, pushes his plate away. Laruja asks Ibarra about his time away from the country. Ibarra reveals he's been gone for 7 years and hasn't received news from home in a year, not even of his father's death. "How do you mean that it has forgotten you?" inquires the rubicund youth. "I mean that it has been a year since I have received any news from here, so that I find myself a stranger who does not yet know how and when his father died," Ibarra responds. This prompts exclamations from the lieutenant and questions from Doña Victorina about his travels. "When we were married, we telegraphed to the peninsula," she boasts. Ibarra discusses his time in Northern Europe, particularly Germany and Russian Poland. Dr. de Espadanya timidly asks, "Perhaps you saw him?" referring to a Pole named Stadnitsky, but Ibarra doesn't recall him. When asked about the most notable aspects of European life, Ibarra thoughtfully responds, "Frankly, I like everything in those people, setting aside the national pride of each one. But before visiting a country, I tried to familiarize myself with its history, its exodus, if I may so speak, and afterwards I found everything quite natural. I have observed that the prosperity or misery of each people is in direct proportion to its liberties or its prejudices." Fray Damaso sneers at this response, deeming it trivial. "It wasn't worthwhile to squander your fortune to learn so trifling a thing. Schoolboys know that," he says. Ibarra, maintaining composure, explains the friar's familiarity stems from knowing him as a child. The Dominican glances at the visibly trembling Franciscan. As Ibarra prepares to leave, Capitan Tiago urges him to stay for Maria Clara's arrival and to meet the new town curate. Ibarra declines, citing an important visit, but promises to return the next day. Fray Damaso, recovering, criticizes the practice of sending young men to Europe. "It's the evil result of sending young men to Europe. The government ought to prohibit it," he declares. Doña Victorina, still stinging from the lieutenant's earlier slight, criticizes his behavior and rank. "He did well to leave us so old and still only a lieutenant," she exclaims. The scene concludes with Laruja making notes for his colonial studies, reflecting on the dynamics of Philippine society. He observes, "In the Philippines, the most unnecessary person at a dinner is he who gives it, for they are quite capable of beginning by throwing the host into the street, and then everything will go on smoothly." This dinner scene vividly illustrates the tensions between various groups in Philippine society: the clergy, the military, the educated youth, and the local elites, each vying for influence and respect in a changing social order.